What's going on, guys? Welcome to a random video on this channel. In today's video, we're talking about T-Mobile. And recently, I was watching a video where John Legere was talking about T-Mobile and also their next quote-unquote uncarrier event, where T-Mobile announces changes to their mobile data plans and anything else T-Mobile is working on. And this is where it's really interesting. They actually read customers and consumers' feedback about T-Mobile, and even sometimes they use those suggestions and make some changes to T-Mobile. Now, as far as T-Mobile and my ideas on how they should change, where everyone gets unlimited HD video and you don't have to activate anything to get it, I think that would be great. But I also realize some of this relates to network management, all that kind of stuff. So you do have a situation with that, and I acknowledge that with T-Mobile. So it's not like I'm just saying, hey, they have to do that and they have to make those changes. I'm just saying that it would be a great idea if they could do that. And then I started thinking more about this and like, what other change that T-Mobile could make to their company that would really impress consumers and customers out there? How about when you guys have the best promotion? Because with T-Mobile, you can update your plan anytime that you want, which I think is fantastic. But what if you guys sent out a text message to everyone to let them know when the best mobile data plan was available? Not only that, what if you guys did that for people out there that are using a different mobile carrier? Now let's think about this. There's people using your service and they could be using a different plan that's not the cheapest for them, which is not at the best price. Most likely because they don't know that T-Mobile has a new promotion out there, because you guys create a lot of promotions. So I think that would be a better way to communicate with the people out there using your service. Include that text message. That way your customers are always going to know that you're letting them know what the best price is for T-Mobile. Think about that, guys. I think that's an awesome idea. You guys can let me know in the comments, but I also want to know what you guys think T-Mobile should change also. Now, some people out there might say, hey, this sounds like a video about T-Mobile and you're just rooting for T-Mobile. It's not about that. T-Mobile is out there the most. And when John Legere says that T-Mobile reads the comments and feedback from consumers and customers out there, I think that's really important. Because when companies are doing that, and they make the changes to their own mobile data plans like with a mobile carrier, that's a real conversation that T-Mobile is having with their customers about the changes they should make to their company. That's not nonsense because you see the changes that T-Mobile is making. Now, I know a lot of people out there might start talking about the deprioritization of data and how T-Mobile should change that. But this is about network management. So if they have it at 30 gigabytes, again, T-Mobile looks at that at every quarter, and that's what T-Mobile told me, and they could change it anyways. So I don't really think it would be about that. Some people are going to say, hey, they should never slow data. They have to work on their own network. The only way you solve that issue where data could be slowed, especially if you use like 10 gigabytes of hotspot data with the One Plus plan, and then get slowed to 3G, you can only solve that by making your network better so everyone can use really unlimited data. And maybe that's another thing T-Mobile could work on. Explaining to people exactly how they use their data, because they might not realize why their data will be slowed, because some people will complain about T-Mobile's service, but again, they don't realize that that's the deprioritization of data that's going on. So I think a way to solve that issue is, yes, you have the information on your website, but maybe there's a better way to let people know that the information's even there. You could do that in social media or even a commercial, however you guys want to do that. But to really explain that. And the thing about John Legere, I think people are really confused when I talk about T-Mobile. They think this is really against T-Mobile. T-Mobile tries to really explain what they're doing for the most part. It's John Legere sometimes when he's out there and he's trying to explain the network management and then the competition out there, including Verizon, Sprint, and AT&T. Of course, they're going to want to say things about T-Mobile because they have to do that. But all of these mobile carriers are deprioritizing data because they don't have the mobile data infrastructure to provide really unlimited data. So it's a situation, I think, where John Legere, if he could just really change the way he explains these things to consumers and his own customers, I think this would be a much better situation. You know, this is not just about criticizing John Legere. This is trying to get the consumers and customers out there that are interested in the mobile data plans from T-Mobile to be more informed accurately. So not just saying, hey, we have unlimited data, explain that, because you guys are out on social media the most. It's not really about Verizon, Sprint, and AT&T. They don't have people's attention like T-Mobile does right now, especially in social media, because when T-Mobile advertises their prices, and that's exactly what you're paying for, that is much different than Verizon, AT&T, and Sprint, because sometimes T-Mobile explains these things a lot better than even John Legere himself, because when John Legere is explaining these things, I would say this is about real talk. I think he sees Verizon, AT&T, you know, those companies have a lot of money, have a lot of resources, and that's what T-Mobile is going against. Not really Sprint, and that's because a lot of customers went from Sprint to T-Mobile, and most people know that. The point is that when John Legere and T-Mobile are going against Verizon, AT&T, it's tough competition. And again, that's because AT&T and Verizon have a lot of services, and for T-Mobile to compete with that, it gets complicated. I realize that. But when John Ledger is explaining these mobile data plans, if they want to improve anything about how you guys explain these things in social media, you know, the whole idea of unlimited data and everything else, if you guys really want to be different than the other mobile carriers out there, you've already made changes to the way you advertise your prices. Now you guys can make some changes in the way you explain what your mobile data services are all about. If you guys can do that, and one example again is the way you guys talk about quote unquote unlimited data, really try to explain to consumers out there how they're using their data and how you're working on your own mobile data network. If you guys can do that, people are going to pay attention. If you said, hey, we're working on 5G, this is what's going on. Yes, we would like to give everyone, quote unquote, unlimited high-speed data all the time, but this is what these mobile data networks are capable of right now. All of them, not just T-Mobile, because that's real talk. So T-Mobile doesn't have to go out there and trash their own company, which would be ridiculous, but they can explain this and explain how the industry is evolving right now and the fact that these mobile data carriers cannot provide quote-unquote unlimited high-speed data. If T-Mobile did that, they would be the first ones out there explaining it like it is. And again, some people out there, T-Mobile, they get confused because they see the data slowed, and that actually could improve what customers or even consumers out there think about T-Mobile. Because when a company is being that honest about what they're doing, you're talking about a really different kind of company, and I think that's one of the more impressive things about T-Mobile when they explain things to you, especially about their pricing right now, and they're being real about it. But anyways, whether you're a customer of T-Mobile's or even a consumer interested in T-Mobile, I would like to know what you guys think T-Mobile should change to their company. Post your comments down below, and of course, if you like this video, give a thumbs up. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.